Hi, welcome back to the farm. My name's Roz, also known as Passion Flower, and you'll find me here each week talking about my farming and creative life. So, we're still experiencing hot weather. Today's not too bad. I've got the windows and doors open at the moment, and I'll be able to stay over here for a little while before it just gets too much. Um, the roof fan works well if you're directly under it, and it also works well when it's been not as hot, but after a few days of building up, it does tend to get a bit too warm in here to stay too long. A couple of farm things this week. We have had a contractor in the past couple of days who has been spraying blackberries and dealing with some of the other weed issues that tend to come in once the blackberries are taken away. So we have had quite a lot of, we call it tobacco tree plant. I don't know what it's really called. It's like got a fuzzy kind of broad leaf, and it ends up with a purple flower, and it is not native, and it is sort of, it's coming up in spots where we have reduced the amount of blackberry. So they have been cutting and painting that because that's the only way you can get rid of it. And its sap and the powder stuff on its leaves, I believe, is quite toxic. So it has to be done by a professional so that it is done safely for everyone concerned. So we have been able to, through the land care program that we're involved with, get some grants for Melbourne Water because our little creek runs into the Yarra River. So it's all part of a bigger ecosystem. And by us looking after our little part, it helps to look after the whole. The other thing that we did this week is we switched over the pump on our concrete tanks. So the concrete tanks were for my grandparents when they had their house right there, and they were their main tanks, and they had an old pump, a very old pump. I don't know when Pa put it in, but it's been about 6 years since my grandma passed, and he had passed, I think, about 10 years before that. So that pump is at least 16 years old, probably more like 20, 25, 30, who knows. So it had gradually been deteriorating in terms of its performance. And we've been using it to pump water for the animals, for the chickens, and for Nasty, and for the horses that we ingest as well. And we've also been using it to, on sort of a relay, to pump water to the house as well when the tanks get low. So what we've been doing is pumping from here at the shed, because there's quite a distance between here at the shed and the house. So we don't have a system that pumps all the way through. So what we do is we pump from here to the concrete tanks, and then from the concrete tanks to the house. And those concrete tanks don't have a roof supplying water for them anymore. So they do get some runoff from water, but it has to be quite wet. So the majority of the water that is in those tanks comes from here. So we pump it in there and then keep it going along the line. But Adam went to use the hose at that that he uses to fill up the water for the animals, and nothing came out. And it had been not working 100%. Like the pump was kind of like taking a long time to draw water in, and it was sort of like get pressure, push out some water, and then it would stop, wait, get pressure again, pump it out. And then those tanks did get below the level where the pump is. So we think it might have maybe overheated. Maybe it was just time for it to die anyway. But we have now pumped more water to those concrete tanks, so we have enough water to be above the level where the pump can pull it in. But we've also changed over to a brand new one. Well, not brand new. It was the one that we were using at the house, which was a bit dodgy. You have to kind of move your dodgy from one place to another. So we've got a new pump for the house, and this other one we're still working reasonably fine. And for the purposes of just getting water moved around the place and not using it for showers and dishwashers and all of that kind of stuff, it's going to be perfectly fine and work well. So yeah, we took out the very old one and we put in a brand new one. For today, I just want to highlight the upcoming markets that I have for this year. I talk about it here, and I do provide a link below to my website. But sometimes it's good to see like a visual of what's going on as well. So I'm going to pop a few images up of the calendars from the actual events that I'm going to. So the first one is the Yarra Valley Wool and Handicraft Show, which is on Sunday, the 30th of March. And I'll also be attending the All About Fibre and Yarn Festival this year. I'll be doing the 6th of April in Vera, the 13th of April in Warragul, the 4th of May in Kyneton, the 10th of May in Mornington, the 14th of September in Romsey, the 19th of October in Vera, and the 6th of December in Lower Templestowe, which is the Christmas market. So look out for more information about those as they draw closer. Pop those dates into your diary so that you can come along and see me and tons of other really talented and lovely yarn and crafty people. All right, first to a finished object. I finished my second Grassland tank, and it is in the grape color by, I think it's Vivacious 4-ply. Where's my tag? Yep, Vivacious 4-ply by Fiberspates, and the colourful pooling and flashing colour is the West colorway by Highland Handmade, which is a US dyer, and I got this years and years ago from one of her clubs, and she doesn't dye yarn anymore. And this is a merino tussar silk blend, and this is just a regular sock yarn blend. So as I said, last time I showed this, I was just up to the point of doing the decreases, and I decided that what I would do is do it in the solid color so that this flashing and pooling didn't change, because I think it would have, because I was then going back and forth rather than in the round, it would block in a different way. I thought I would then have enough yarn to also do the straps, which clearly I didn't, and I reverted back to the West colorway. But I'm actually okay with that. I think it looks quite good with the colourful sleeves and that block section of colour. Because I only ended up with this much purple, and I didn't want to risk doing one of the straps and then not having enough for the second. So in the end, I ended up with 2 small balls left over from these, which can go into a scrap project, use it for heels and toes on a sock, something like that. So that will go into my big bowl of little bits of yarn. What do I have to say about this? It is not blocked yet. All of the ends are woven in. And what I do when I weave my ends in, so that I know that they're done, is I tie a little knot in the end. And that way I can just double check and make sure that I've done them all. That's my little tip. And then I block it. And then when I've blocked it, I then cut them nice and short. I did do these straps much wider than I did the first one. I think the first one would have only come to about from this end to the purple. So I think I did another 6 or 7 rounds, just so that it sits a bit flatter across the bra line. It was just peeking out, and I thought this way I would make sure that it was hidden. I've tried it on, it fits really well, and now that it's warm here today, I might give it a quick block before I go back to the house. So that's another Grasslands tank done, and I have not cast on another one. I think 2 is enough for now. Other projects that I have worked on this week are the jumper that I'm making for my sister, which is the modified version of the True Stripes jumper. I'm still working on the back. I think I'm about at the right length to start doing some shaping, but I want to sort of hold it up to her and do a bit of a measure before I make that decision. But I'm loving the transitioning of the colors, and I'm just using some spotlight yarn for this, the Vera Macleod for the pink, and I didn't bring a fresh ball band down. I've only got my hand wound ball here. I think it is Vera Valley, and this is in the Latrobe colorway. So yes, still really enjoying that, and it is definitely was my mindless project, but now I'm at the point where I kind of need to do that measure and reassure to figure out how long I need to make it from this point on. It was also a bit cooler this past week, so I did get some more work done on my Pescadero top. So I have finished the back ages ago, and this is the front that I'm working on now with a beautiful lace pattern. This is in the Fluff and Nonsense Tibetan singles yarn in the excuse me, in the Sage Advice colorway, and it is 65% superwash merino, 20% silk, 15% yak, and there's the logo there. Really enjoying, but as it is lace, it does take a little bit more time, and it's quite fine, and it's on fine needles. So I think I added another maybe 8, like so 2 repeats of the lace pattern since last time that I've shown this. And I'm just going to keep plugging away on doing little bits of this, and it will get done eventually. But I really do want this finished item, and I'm really looking forward to being able to wear it in like autumn and spring. I think it'll just be a really lovely jumper to throw on. Well, that's it for another week. Thanks for spending some time with me. If you enjoyed these videos, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I look forward to seeing you next week on the farm. Bye.